will work. So let me give you an example of some of the issues that we have dealt with. We have focused a great deal on making sure that the service and operational entities that provide services to our bank and to our other subsidiaries, information technology services, other operations and technology subsidiaries, would not fail in the event of a failure of other parts of the institution. I'm told by the bankruptcy lawyers, of which I am not one, that I am not permitted to call this making them bankruptcy remote, which is apparently a word of art. As one of my colleagues likes to say, who knew that bankruptcy lawyers were artists? But be that as it may, we have taken steps to assure that they would not fail in several ways. One, increasing their capital. Secondly, increasing the amount of liquidity that they have. And third, focusing attention on the exact terms, maintaining current lists and computer lists and other information about the service level agreements that we have with each other. We also focused a lot on the location of those service entities in the corporate structure. If if you have the highest degree of confidence that the single point of entry, at least under Title I, you have the highest degree of confidence it would work for the bank and might work for other subsidiaries, but that the bank presumably would be the focus of the FDIC's attention, then there are reasons to make sure that your service entities are in the bank chain, or in the bank itself, or are owned by the bank, because that chain will survive and be recapitalized by holding company assets. So we have looked at that issue as well. And of course, as Rick noted, in order for single point of entry to work, you have to have an adequate amount of unsecured long-term debt at the holding company. And the Fed is one of these days going to tell us what it thinks an adequate amount of unsecured long-term debt is, or other debt perhaps is, but we have taken steps to make sure that we maintain what we think is an adequate amount of that long-term debt. I would only add further to a point that Rick made, it's certainly my view that whatever the rating agencies, Congress, and some academics are saying, the people who actually buy long-term unsecured bank debt are keenly aware of the risks that they are taking and the likelihood of them becoming suffering a loss and or becoming equity holders in the institution in the event of a failure, which, after all, is not so extraordinary because Chapter 11s happen every day in the United States in large numbers, and that's exactly what happens to long-term creditors. So they're quite capable of making those assessments. Another thing that resolution does is it makes you look at the number of subsidiaries that you have and look at possible corporate simplification on the general theory that fewer subsidiaries make you easier to resolve. We have, depending on what you count and which form you look at, perhaps 1,600 subsidiaries, perhaps 3,000 subsidiaries of various kinds. Thank you very much, John. Saved me once again. And for a long time,